Okay, so we have the network administrator, and we said that they would be responsible for installing the WAPs or the wireless access points, right? Next, we have systems programmer. Then there's a programmer, systems analyst, database administrator, and computer technician. Okay, and the remaining tasks are develop schema, identifies functional requirements, maintains programs, replace hard drives, and installs utilities. So one technique you could use in your exam is to try to identify the ones that make sense or is blatantly correct, right? So which task and job professional would you say is the next easier one to address? What would you identify as the correct pair next? Right? What about the identifies functional requirements? Who does that? Who would do that?
The computer technician?
Anyone else wants? Right? Yes. So the system analyst would do that. Remember, you have to remember the system analysts. What they do is they identify requirements for evaluating solutions, making sure objectives are met, etc. So a system analyst. So you have a network administrator installing the WAPs, so the wireless access points. You have a system analyst identifying functional requirements. The third one you would address, or me looking at it, the third one that is sort of clear is develop schema. Now, when you talk about schema, you generally talk about database schema. So a database administrator will develop the schema, right? So that's that period. So you're left with maintains programs, replaces hard drives, and installs utilities. And with the system programmer, and computer technician. So what would you all say is the next choice for you? Computer technician, okay. And what task would they do? Given the options we have, yes, I would say replace hard drive is the task most leaning toward the computer technician, right? So now we're left with programmer, systems programmer, maintains programs, and installs utilities. Does anyone want to attempt what will be the right combination for these two roles? Yes. So the the programmer will maintain programs, and the systems programmer will install utilities. Now, one way of looking at these sort of questions will be utilities are an example of utility programs are like applications on your on your computer, right? So Microsoft Office, for example, or some sort of program. And who would do that is generally a systems programmer. You look at someone who is programming your desktop or installing applications on your desktop. A programmer in general sense would maintain programs. So they would maintain if they write a program in Java or in Pascal, this sort of thing, right? So that's where the programmer would be more applicable to that job role. So this is another example of a question including the job rules and the tasks associated to it. Remember, as I said, when you have a question like this, some of the job rules and the tasks may not seem to be, or there may be multiple job roles fulfilling a task and vice versa. So the best way to approach that is answer the ones that are clear and apparent first, and then address the other one. Any questions on that?
No, sir.
Okay, let me just pull up another question for you. Okay, I'm gonna share this. Right. So I'm gonna share this question with you all. State one advantage and one disadvantage of each of the following scenarios. All right, so the first scenario is offering automated voicemail where the caller presses a number to be transferred to an extension. Right? What is one advantage of that? What is an advantage of an automated voicemail where the caller, or you call, when you call, you just put in the number for an extension? So one advantage could be that you can be directly, or you can directly reach the phone you want to reach. Okay, you don't have to go to an operator, etc. Okay, so that is one thing. You can directly get to the person or the phone number you want to reach. What is a disadvantage of it? What is a disadvantage of that?
Anyone could just call.
Yeah, anyone could just call. They just know a number. There's no sort of filtering. Another disadvantage could be that if it is you don't know the extension for someone, then what happens, right? You're not going to be able to reach them. Okay, so the second scenario: working at home or conducting business using a computer to communicate with colleagues and or clients. What is an advantage and disadvantage?
Yeah, an advantage that you're in the comfort of your home.
Right, so in the comfort of your home, there's no costs relating to traveling, especially if the colleague or the client is out of the country or you all are in different countries. That's one advantage. Disadvantage will be
that you're prone to distractions.
well, a disadvantage could be that you could be distracted at home depending on what's happening. Also, there could be a level of inconvenience involved in the sense that time difference. If it is someone is in the UK, and if there's someone is in the US, for example, there's time difference, right? So that's a disadvantage. Also, there's a social aspect of it, meeting the person and interacting socially. Okay, let's move on to C, right? Using only credit and debit card for transactions, an advantage and a disadvantage. So what's an advantage of the credit card and debit card?
You could buy stuff online.
Could buy stuff online, right? Basically, you don't have to carry cash, yes? So there's no reason to be walking around with cash, right? A disadvantage.
Uh, like if you need to pay with cash, you wouldn't have any.
Right, well,
Identity theft.
theft is one, definitely, yes. If it is you need cash, you some places, depending on where you go in, you may need cash. With credit card, obviously you can't do that. Theft, you could have identity theft. Also, your credit card or debit card could be stolen, right? In which case you won't have any sort of means to have transaction to conduct your transactions. As well as the machine, the ATM machine or something may not be, not ATM, the point of sale machine may not be working properly, right? So those are acceptable responses. Okay, so part D, use of information technology and computers in most areas of work. What is an advantage and disadvantage?
Yeah, I'm not sure for that one.
Right. So in a question like this, you want to think about it in terms of technology, right? How is technology? What is an advantage of technology for using technology in your workplace and a disadvantage of it? So one disadvantage or one of the popular disadvantages is for there might be a decrease in the amount of jobs available for persons as computers might take over those jobs or might be more efficient at those jobs, right? Another disadvantage is um, current workers, they will need to keep themselves up to date with technology to use the new systems, right? So that would entail ensuring that training is there. Advantage will be obviously processing large amounts of data, right? That could be done very quickly. Always remember the example of marking the exam papers using the OMR or the optical mark reader, right? Marking papers in a bulk, having it done, having it being executed more efficiently, etc. So that's an advantage there, right? What about the last one? Using a computer for a long time to complete an urgent task. An advantage and disadvantage.
It's unhealthy.
Yes, there are some health detriments or some health issues with it. Yeah, that's a disadvantage. Right. Advantage is you can get tasks completed probably more accurately and quicker, more efficiently. Okay. So those are some suitable answers for that. All right, let me just, any questions on that?
Okay.
Let me just get another one. Okay, so we have here another question. And what the question states is, so you have an option, right? Select any one of the following professions, and then for the profession selected, first describe one positive impact and one negative impact that IT has on that profession. Right? The second part is give one example of a hardware device or type of software that is used in a profession. And then the third part is describe how the hardware device or type of software you mentioned is used. So the first thing is you select a profession, either music teaching or medicine, and then describe one positive impact and one negative impact of IT in that profession. So I want you all to think about a profession, and then I want to hear a negative and a positive impact you could think about for it. Okay, so someone is selecting teaching. So what is one positive impact of IT in the profession? Yes, so one positive is you can carry out your lessons plan, or you could use IT to carry out your lessons plan, and we're experiencing something like that right now, where there is a sort of there's less movement, a restriction, or a recommended restriction in communication, physical communication. So because of IT, we could have classes online and remotely, right? So that's one positive. One negative impact could be what? A negative impact could be, and if you use this as an example, if you're going to your classes are fully online, for example, and you have 8-hour classes a day, and you're spending 8 hours behind a computer screen, that could have some sort of health impact your health, right? So that's like a negative impact of it. One example of a hardware device or type of software that is used in the profession. So if we're going with teaching, what is an example of a hardware device or type of software? Yes, optical mark reader. That is something you could use, and describe how that hardware device or type of software is used. So one thing to pay attention to here is the marks, right? So they gave 2 marks for the identifying evidence. There are 4 marks. So you need to be or describe in some level of detail how you're going to use this hardware device or software. Okay, so for the optical mark reader, we could use the example we've always been using, which is marking or correcting multiple choice questions. And the example could be is like, for example, for CSEC and the paper ones, or the multiple choice question paper could be marked more efficiently and quicker using the optical mark reader than correcting by hand. Yeah, so that's an example you could use. Now remember, one thing to highlight about this question is there was a need to select one of the professions, right? So remember to pay attention to the question, what is being asked, and the marks allocated to it. So you know how to, or enough information to include. All right, any questions on that? Everybody okay? Okay, so I want you all to have a look at this question. I know we did it last week, but to ensure that you all understand and are able to attempt it if you see it again. So the question is, you all see the question first of all? It's number 4.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, good. So I want you all to tell me, right? Local area network, maybe wired or wireless. Jennifer has a small apartment and has decided to set up a network that will connect all the devices in her home that she uses frequently. Devices are desktop computer, laptop computer, Android cell phone, Android tablets, and a printer. And what you have to do is you have to identify the devices on the left with the description. All right, so I want you all to have a look at this and you could type your answers in the chat. What we could do to maybe typing out a little easier, you could have the devices, so you call them by name, router, modem, switch, etc., and the descriptions. You could use numbers 1 to 5, right? So, for example, 1 will be used to send messages to your right computer on a single network. 2 would be used when 2 different networks need to be connected. Remember, put the answers in the chat. Okay, I've seen some answers coming in. Okay, so switch, the first one I see is switch is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So have a switch as converts analog signals to digital and digital signals to analog. And then we have twisted pair 3 type of wire transmission media, which is used on local area networks. So, okay, so that second answer is correct. The twisted pair is the type of wire transmission media used on local area networks. That's correct. The switch, it is not, no, that's not correct. Anyone wants to suggest? Okay, we have another suggestion. The network interface card is used to send messages to the right computer symbol network. No, that's not correct either. Any other guesses for that? For those?
The switch to.
Switch to, right? Use when we connect, or when two different networks need to be connected. No, a switch is not used for that either. Right? What do we have here? Switch one, yes, that is correct. A switch is used to send messages to the right computer on a single network, right? So the switch that is the function of it. So we have the switch being the first option. I have twisted pair being the third option. So we have a couple of others. Okay, router 5. Router prepares data, sends data, receives data, and controls data flow between a computer and a network to which is connected to. No, that's not correct for the router.
Modem 2.
Modem 2. No, the modem is not used. Router 4. No, the router is not used for converting digital analog signals. No, the thing, what you need to remember about this particular question is, you have to remember the functions of the different devices. Remember, at home, the devices are normally combined. So you might have one device acting as a modem, a router, switch, or wireless access point. So for this particular question, you need to understand the functions of each device. So I'll just go through it, right? The router is actually used when you're connecting different networks. So the second option, used when two different networks need to be connected. That is the router. The router device will be used there. The modem converts analog signals to digital signals, and vice versa, digital to analog. So that's router and modem. The switch, as you mentioned before, used to send messages to the right computer on a single network. Generally, a switch will connect computers in one network or provide communication between devices on one network. Twisted pair, as we mentioned, type of wire transmission media used on local area networks. And the network interface card. This device prepares the data, sends data, receives data, and controls data flow between the computer and the network which is connected. And you have to think about it, right? Remember, the network interface card is what receives data from your computer, from your application, and sends it onto the network, right? So that's the network interface card. Right. The second part of the question. Explain one advantage and one disadvantage of using a wireless network over a wired network.
One disadvantage is that people could hack a wireless network.
Yes, it is easier for a wireless network to be compromised. That is a disadvantage compared to a wired network. Anyone wants to suggest another disadvantage?
Network will move more slower than a wired network.
Yes, so generally wireless networks, the capacity of it is less and you have slower speeds than a wired network, right? What about, go ahead, Ron.
Area.
What's that?
You're restricted to a certain area. If you leave that area, then you won't be able to use the wireless.
Right, so wireless networks, they have a range, right? So if it is you're out of the range, or you don't get out of this good sufficient signal range, you're not going to get proper service. So advantages now. Advantages of wireless networks over wired networks.
Service.
Wireless network is portable.
Yes, so you could have devices connected to it, and you could move around. Nick, you were saying something. You were going to suggest something.
So you could connect things like printers. It gives you more, like to use more devices, wireless devices, like printers, phones, things like that.
So you could have more devices connected easier, right? In the sense that if you have wireless devices, they connect their wireless access points, as opposed to if you don't have wireless devices, you need to connect a printer, you need to probably run a Ethernet cable to your printer. You need to run an Ethernet cable to a new computer. But if you have a wireless network, it's easier to add devices to the network and have more devices connected. Okay, so that's advantages. So those are generally advantages of it, right? Now, state the name of the protocol or technology most commonly used to provide wireless computer networking in a home or office.
Wi-Fi.
Right, so Wi-Fi, right? You all remember what Wi-Fi stands for?
No, sir.
Wireless fidelity, right? Wi-Fi, wireless fidelity.
Sir, can you repeat that, please?
Sure. Wireless fidelity.
Fidelity.
Fidelity, yeah.
All right.
Right, so that's what Wi-Fi stands for. Any questions on this? I know this is the second time you all seen this question. We looked at it last week, but just to go up a bit to the devices. Yes, you have a question?
Yeah, no, I don't have a question.
Okay, yeah. So just to go back up to devices, remember when you trying to bring a practical or think about it practically at home, you have to remember that at home you have one device acting as a modem, switch, router, wireless access point, and it may be you may get the functionality of each one a little bit mixed up. So you have to think about it as separate devices in order to understand, right? Let me just bring forth another question. I'm going to stop the sharing. Okay, let's have a look at this question, right? So the first one, name two types of cable or wired media. Anyone willing to put forward an answer for two types of cabled or wired media?
So that is like two types of wired cable could be coaxial and fiber optic.
Right, so those are two examples, right? Coaxial and fiber optic cabling. right? What about types of wireless media?
The Bluetooth and Wi-Fi.
Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, yes. Ethernet, or unshielded twisted pair. Twisted pair would be going back to the wired one, yes. Bluetooth, Wi-Fi is wireless media. Now, state the difference between simplex and half duplex data transmission.
The simplex is one way at a time only, data transmission one way at a time, and half duplex is two directions, one way at a time.
Right. Right. So simplex is transmission of data in one direction only, right? And half duplex is transmission of data in both directions, one direction at a time. Okay. So the analogy for that is always, well, one popular analogy is always the roadway and the one-way road, and then a dual carriageway, right? With one traffic passing one at a time. Now, distinguish between an intranet and an extranet. Anyone willing to discuss an intranet and an extranet?
The internet is a private network, and the extranet is a form of
Right. So generally, yes, the intranet is a private network, right? So no one outside a business or organization is usually able to access an intranet. An extranet is designed to allow authorized users outside of the private network access to the intranet, right? So intranet is only internal or internal only. The extranet is allowing persons from outside to connect. So yes, so the intranet means that only persons within an organization can connect. They should be specific about that. And yeah, network, computer network sharing within an organization, right? Okay, and state one reason why an organization would choose to establish an extranet.